When teachers design tests, they often receive feedback from students about the fairness or difficulty of the exam. Sometimes this happens because the test items do not match what was taught or the questions fail to assess the intended learning outcomes. To prevent this, the teachers must make sure that their tests are valid and reliable. Reliability, as we all know, it means that the test gives consistent results over time. While on the other hand, validity ensures that the test actually measures what it is supposed to measure. So today, let us focus on validity, one of the key features of a properly accomplished test. Alright, before we start the main discussion, let us first have our objectives. So, at the end of the discussion, the students should be able to achieve the following with at least 75 proficiency level. Identify the 7 types of validity. Demonstrate appreciation for the importance of validity in creating fair and accurate assessments. And review a sample test and identify features that demonstrate clarity, organization, and validity. Okay, did you know that the word valid comes from the Latin word validus, which means strong? In school or research, when we say a test or tool is valid, we mean it is strong and reliable. It truly measures what it is supposed to measure. So just like a strong bridge can hold weight, a valid test or question can be trusted to give accurate results. We have here the 7 types of validity. So let me first discuss the most basic form of validity, which is the face validity. So this type focuses on the physical aspects of the test, such as the format, the clarity of instructions, the wordings of items, and of course the overall presentation. Like for instance, imagine that a teacher designs an English grammar quiz for her students. The test looks neat and well organized. Right at the top, the title says English Grammar Quiz. The instructions are short, clear, and easy to follow. Each item is properly numbered and the choices are neatly arranged. So the questions themselves are written in simple and correct English. Then, when students receive this test, of course, they can immediately tell what the quiz is about, and they recognize that it's focused on grammar skills. Nothing more, nothing less. Everything in the test looks appropriate for its purpose, and it gives a good impression that the teacher prepared it carefully. So, this test therefore has high face validity because its appearance, its structure, and question types perfectly match what it is supposed to measure. Even before it's created or analyzed, the test already looks valid just by how it is presented. Okay, so that's what we call the face validity. The next one is we have the content validity. It refers to the extent to which a test, quiz, or assessment accurately represents all aspects of the content or skills it is intended to measure. In other words, content validity checks if the test really covers all the important aspects or important topics or skills in the subject area. Like for example, in a math quiz that it is supposed to test addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. If the quiz only asks addition questions, it does not have a good content validity. Why? Because it doesn't cover the whole topic it is supposed to assess. But if it includes questions on all 4 operations, it has high content validity. So remember, content validity ensures the test matches what students are expected to learn. The third one is we have the predictive validity. It tells us whether a test or measure can accurately predict future performance or outcome. outcomes. A test has good predictive validity if the results match what actually happens later. For example, an entrance exam is meant to predict how well students will do in their first semester. If students who score high on the exam also earn high grades, the exam has strong predictive validity. In short, this type of validity shows how well a test can forecast future success. Another example, a pretest in English might be given at the start of the school year to predict students' performance in the final exam. If students who do well on the pretest also do well on the final exam, of course the pretest has high predictive validity. So that's what we call the predictive validity.
Construct validity. It refers to the extent to which a test, scale, or instrument accurately measures the theoretical construct or concept it is intended to measure. It assesses whether the operational definition of a variable truly reflects the meaning of the concept being studied. Another is it involves gathering evidence that test behaves as expected according to theory or previous research. Also, construct validity is not established by a single study. Rather, it accumulates over time through multiple lines of evidence. Example, correlations, factor analysis, and theoretical predictions. Lastly, it combines aspects of both convergent and divergent validity to show that the test is related to what it should be related to and unrelated to what it should not be. The fifth one is concurrent validity. So when we say concurrent validity, it is the degree to which the results of a test correspond to those of an established measure of the same construct administered at the same time. Also, it is a subtype of criterion-related validity, which also includes predictive validity. It helps determine how well a new test correlates with an existing validated benchmark test or criterion. Lastly, the focus is on whether both measures yield similar outcomes in the present, not future performance. The sixth one is convergent validity. When we say convergent validity, it refers to the extent to which a test correlates positively with other measures that assess the same or similar construct. It is a subtype of construct validity. Also, evidence for convergent validity supports the idea that the test actually measures what it claims to measure because it aligns with other instruments designed to measure similar concepts. High correlations indicate that the construct is or convergent. And the last but not the least of the types of validity is divergent or discriminant validity. Divergent validity, also called discriminant validity, it is the extent of which a test does not correlate strongly with measures of different or unrelated construct. Also, it ensures that a test is distinct and not simply measuring something else. Low correlations between unrelated constructs show that the instrument can discriminate between different psychological traits or concepts. Lastly, it complements convergent validity. Both are necessary to establish strong construct validity.
Alright, there you have it. That wraps up our discussion on the 7 types of validity. Understanding this helps us create fair, accurate, and meaningful assessment that truly measure what students have learned. Remember, choosing the right type of validity ensures that our tests are not only reliable but also useful for guiding learning. And thank you all for watching. This lesson was presented by yours truly, Ira Opiana, and of course my partner, Cristy Oliver.